When the first sliver of pale morning light crept across the small, quiet living room, John Miller, a tired yet determined single father, stirred awake on the couch. He had collapsed onto after another long night juggling work shifts and caring for his daughter. But the moment his eyes opened, his heart jolted violently because, standing only a few feet away, wrapped in his shirt, the soft flannel hanging loosely over her graceful frame, was none other than Evelyn Hart, the famously untouchable, fiercely successful CEO whose face appeared on billboards, business magazines, and every financial headline across the state. And for a split second, he genuinely thought he was dreaming until she turned toward him with eyes that were nothing like the icy, confident gaze the world always saw. They were shaken, grateful, and full of a fragile softness that instantly stole his breath as she whispered, "John, what your daughter did last night saved my life." The weight of her words struck him, harder than any alarm could have, as flashes of last night's chaos surged back. Lily, shaking him awake after spotting the wrecked car smoking near their street, her tiny voice trembling with fear as she begged him to hurry, and John sprinting barefoot onto the asphalt with adrenaline drowning out the pain, smashing the window, pulling an unconscious woman from the wreck while flames threatened to swallow the vehicle. And at that time he didn't know who she was. All he knew was that Lily was crying and someone needed help. Now the most powerful woman in the city stood in his modest home, wearing his shirt, telling him that his little girl, his brave, big-hearted Lily, had kept her alive by holding her hand, refusing to let her slip into unconsciousness until John dragged her from the heat. "Your daughter is extraordinary," Evelyn murmured, her voice cracking in a way that made her seem more human than any news story had ever shown. And John felt emotion rise in his chest, a mix of pride, disbelief, and something deeper he didn't dare name yet. Lily toddled out of her room with messy hair and sleepy eyes, and Evelyn instantly knelt, embracing her with tears glistening on her lashes as she whispered, "You saved me, sweetheart. You're my hero." And Lily, in her innocent truthfulness, said, "Daddy says heroes don't need capes, but you can wear mine if you want," and draped her small superhero blanket over Evelyn's shoulders, making the powerful CEO laugh, really laugh, softly, gratefully, beautifully, in a way that warmed the whole room. As John watched the two of them, a strange warmth settled into his chest, the kind of warmth he hadn't felt in years, not since life had turned heavy and lonely after losing Lily's mother. He didn't know why destiny had brought Evelyn into their lives, but he felt its weight, gentle, surprising, and full of possibility. And the morning unfolded with a tender awkwardness, as Evelyn insisted on helping make breakfast, even though she was clearly still recovering, thanking John and Lily again and again, her voice trembling each time she remembered the flames. And when she finally stood by the door to leave, still wearing Lily's superhero blanket like a cape, she turned back with a seriousness that shifted the air around them and said, "John, after everything you did for me, please don't shut me out. Let me help you, not as a CEO, as someone whose life you saved." Her voice held something deeper, something that settled into John's heart like a promise he did not understand yet, and he stood frozen, realizing this moment was the beginning of something neither of them had expected but both desperately needed. The rest of the day unfolded like a weight John wasn't prepared to carry, not because it was heavy, but because it was unfamiliar. Hope had become a stranger in his life, and now it was knocking at his door, wearing high heels and a superhero blanket. Hours passed after Evelyn left, yet her presence lingered like a quiet echo through the house. Lily wouldn't stop talking about the nice lady who smiled like sunshine, and every time John remembered Evelyn's trembling voice, he felt something in his chest shift again. A door he thought had rusted shut was opening, inch by quiet inch. That afternoon, while he stood outside fixing the loose mailbox hinge, a sleek black car pulled up, the kind that didn't belong on their worn-out street, and his breath caught as Evelyn stepped out, not in a CEO suit this time, but in simple jeans and a sweater, looking almost normal, almost like someone who wanted to escape the world for a moment. "I hope I'm not disturbing you," she said softly, carrying a small bag, and before he could speak, she knelt in front of Lily, who was drawing chalk butterflies on the sidewalk, and presented a box of brand new colors. "These are for my hero," she said. And the way Lily's eyes sparkled made something deep inside John melt completely. But the moment that truly left him frozen came after. Lily skipped away to draw. Evelyn stepped closer, her voice quieter, vulnerable in a way that no billionaire CEO should ever sound, and said, "John, I don't remember the last time I felt safe. I don't remember the last time someone cared about me without wanting something in return. Last night, you saved my life. Today," her voice trembled, "you reminded me I'm human." John didn't know how to respond. How do you comfort a woman the whole world sees as invincible? So he simply said the truth. "Everyone deserves to feel safe." Those words hit her harder than he expected. She blinked fast, fighting emotion, whispering, "I haven't felt that in years." As the sun dipped toward the horizon, the three of them ended up sitting on the porch steps eating simple homemade sandwiches. Evelyn insisted they were the best thing she'd tasted in years, and for once she wasn't the CEO of anything. She was just a woman sitting beside a father and his little girl, laughing softly at Lily's stories, staring at John, as if she was seeing a kind of life she'd forgotten existed. And when the streetlights came on, painting the evening with soft yellow warmth, Evelyn stood slowly, turned to John with a look that made his heart thud, and said the words that changed everything. "John, please don't disappear from my life now." She hesitated, searching his eyes. "I want to stay connected. I want to be part of whatever this is, if you'll let me." John had never been a man who believed fate knocked twice. He had lost too much, sacrificed too much, and loved too deeply to trust easily. But he looked at Lily, sitting with chalk-stained fingers and a happiness he rarely saw. And he looked at Evelyn, trembling yet hopeful, and he felt something inside him settle. Some people enter your life because destiny refuses to let you walk alone. And that evening, as Evelyn left with a promise to return the next day, John realized his world had quietly shifted, not in chaos, not in fear, but in the gentle, undeniable way hope returns when you thought you had buried it forever. Lily slipped her small hand into his and whispered, "Daddy, I think she needs us." And for the first time in years, John didn't feel afraid of the future. He felt ready for it.